Hey guys, it's Jeremy, Classic Guitar Rock. I just wanted to come on and do a quick update. I'm going to try and get back in the swing of doing things, and I'm getting over a cold just to make things more exciting. But I wanted to come on and talk specifically about some drama in the Kiss camp. Now, as you know, this past weekend was the Kennedy Center Honors. Kiss was honored along with George Strait, Sylvester Stallone, a few other people I can't remember. So what should have been a pretty great weekend for Kiss turned into kind of some controversy as Gene Simmons promptly put his foot in his own mouth, which he has wont to do, and made some comments, kind of disparaging comments about the recently departed Ace Frehley. And what really just not a common occurrence to see Eddie Trunk really, really upset about this. Understandably so. He and Ace were really good friends. But Ace called Gene to task yesterday on his show. I don't know if you had a chance to hear that, but just really ripped Gene a new one. And I think understandably so. You know, let's think about the optics here, right? You're here at the Kennedy Center Honors. This is a great opportunity for you to, obviously, receive accolades from other people, lots of wonderful comments made by people celebrating this honor for Kiss. Obviously, we have the sadness of Ace dying just a few months ago, not able to attend. What should have been a good weekend, albeit sad because Ace wasn't there, but it would have been a perfect opportunity for Gene to just say, hey, we sure miss Ace. We wish he was here. But he didn't do that. Okay. Instead, he took the opportunity to really say some things about Ace that just didn't need to be said. And there's two viewpoints here. Okay. Even if what he's saying is true, Ace has passed away. You don't need to say this. Okay. There's no need to say that. But I don't think that they're true. I don't know. I don't know Ace, but let's get into this. Here is what Kiss said. And the headline, I'm reading this from page 6. What is page 6? Is that part of the New York Times? I don't know what it is. Or the New York Post, maybe. I don't know where it's from. But the headline is Kiss frontman Gene Simmons blames Ace Frehley's bad decisions for his death. You reap what you shall sow. Which they kind of get that quote wrong, but I guess that's how Gene said it. Kiss frontman Gene Simmons blamed bad decisions for his friend and fellow bandmate Ace Frehley's death. The band's co-founder condemned Frehley's substance abuse, suggesting it was to blame for the guitarist's fatal fall down the stairs in his Morristown, New Jersey home studio. And as Eddie points out, Ace didn't live in Morristown. Okay, he does not have a Morristown home studio, so the whoever wrote this didn't do their due diligence. He died in the hospital in Morristown, but he did not live in Morristown, did not have a studio there. Simmons continues, he refused advice from people that cared about him, including yours truly, to try to change his lifestyle in and out of bad decisions, falling down the stairs. I'm not a doctor, doesn't kill you. So look at what Gene says. Falling down the stairs, he says, I'm not a doctor, but that doesn't kill you. There may have been other issues, and it breaks my heart. Well, lots of people die falling downstairs. I personally know people that have died falling down the stairs. And as you get older and a little more frail, absolutely people fall or die falling downstairs. Simmons says, the saddest thing, you reap what you shall sow, unfortunately. the singer added, also referencing Frehley's struggles with alcoholism. However, Frehley had been sober for 20 years before his death. And that's the thing that to me is kind of insidious about these comments that Gene made, right? Frehley's been sober for 20 years. Okay. And yet Gene especially continued this dialogue of him being, an alcoholic or still being a drug addict and all these things, even 20 years after he was clean and sober. Right now, no one debates that his substance abuse had something to do with him leaving the band. I mean, I think that's all history everyone's aware of, but he's been sober for 20 years. And Ace was very proud of that and talked about that. So I think that the point here is that shame on Gene, right? Why would you do this? Why would you choose this weekend of all weekends when the band is being honored at the Kennedy Center to say these things about Ace? They didn't need to be said, even if they were true, right? Why would you say that? So this, unfortunately, is kind of in Gene's. This is what he does, right? There have been a number of times where he will say things that are just, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And it probably is going to put, I haven't seen responses from Paul or Peter Chris on Gene's comment. I don't know, but why would you do that? So I'd love to see your thoughts on it, hear what you think about it. Let me hear in the comments what you think, but not a good look for Gene Simmons. Not a good look for KISS on this weekend, right? When it should be positive, should be celebratory. And Gene should have been paying his respects to Ace, talking about how much they missed him and how much he contributed to the band. Because let's face it, right? Since Peter and Ace left, I mean, KISS has not been the same. They've had a modicum of success without them. That's true. But the KISS that we all know and love is the KISS with Ace and Peter. And that's what Gene should have been talking about. What do you think? Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later, and we'll do a Live and Dangerous this Friday. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.